Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 10, powered by Reva University.
Ladies and gentlemen, the compulsions of a coalition can be truly dangerous. And in the case of the Shiv Sena, it may just be fatal to their hopes of remaining in power. The troubled, crumbling, falling, confused, unable to govern Mahavikas Aghadi was built on this. It was built on a bedrock of compromise. It had no ideology. It was a vacuous alliance. And now it's just falling apart. The Shiv Sena MLAs have had enough of the compromise on Hindutva. Eknath Shinde is saying #Hindutva forever, and the party's at the crossroads. Coalition or ideology? Here's the story and then we debate.
2.5 years ago, a coalition of compromises was formed. On Hanuman Chalisa, they compromised. On Ram Mandir, they compromised. On the Citizenship Amendment Act that ensures persecuted Hindus find a home in the country, they compromised.
अभी होगा ना राज्यसभा में, जब तो क्यों ऐसे दो अलग अलग भूमिका होती है क्या हमारी? हम राष्ट्र की हित की भूमिका लेकर शिवसेना खड़ी रहती है. ये किसी की मोनोपोली नहीं है, पहले ध्यान में रखना. ये जो कुछ लोग समझ रहे हैं कि हमारी मोनोपोली है, उसको भी छेद देने चाहिए.
सरकार कोशिश कर रही है, लेकिन आज फिर वही हालत पैदा हुए जो 1990 में हुए थे. आपने कश्मीरी पंडितों के घर वापसी की बात की थी और उसके ऊपर आपने वोट भी बटोरे थे पूरे देश में हिंदुत्व के नाम पर. लेकिन 370 हटाने के बाद भी कश्मीरी पंडित, कश्मीर की जनता, मैं सभी जनता की बात करता हूँ, हालत में कोई सुधार नहीं है.
On Kashmir security, they compromised.
पहला बिल्कुल कश्मीर साफ करूंगा. एक ही आदमी मेरे देश में, पूरे देश में, चाहे वो पाकिस्तान का हो या बांग्लादेश का हो, यहाँ नहीं रहेगा. और जितने कोई आतंकवादी आए हैं, एक पर भी मैं मुकदमा नहीं चलाऊंगा.
On Savarkar, they compromised by allying with those who insult him.
मेरा नाम राहुल सावरकर नहीं है, मेरा नाम राहुल गांधी है. मैं सच्चाई के लिए कभी माफी नहीं मांगूंगा. मर जाऊंगा मगर माफी नहीं मांगूंगा.
And now, Uddhav Thackeray seems to be more concerned about winning over the ideologically tangential NCP and Congress than his own MLAs.
मग पवार साहेबांनी, सोनिया गांधींनी विश्वास टाकला माझ्यावरती. सोनियाजी सुद्धा मध्ये
सभी लोग जो है, हम बाला साहब ठाकरे जी का जो हिंदुत्व है इस और उनकी जो भूमिका है उसको हम लोग आगे ले जाना चाहते हैं.
Has an ideological compromise to come to power ensured the demise of the very same government? Let's debate.
Now, Shivangi is live from outside Matushri, where I think Uddhav Thackeray and the whole family should be reaching soon. They've just left the Chief Minister's house. So are arrangements being made there as well by party workers to welcome them back?
Absolutely, you can see right over here, you can see the crowd. By the minute, we have been here since evening, by the minute the crowd is getting louder and louder. There are many supporters here, flags, chanting. You can hear that very loud. The excitement is right up palpable right now. What you can see, at any moment now, at any point now, we soon will see Uddhav Thackeray and family come from here. There's an entire road right here made. There's a little way made for him to come. The crowd here is getting louder, and
but what are they? But they see the writing on the wall. It's not really a celebration of any kind out there, Shivangi, because they're welcoming back their leader who is losing power. Has that realization come on them or not? We see a little, I'm seeing a blurred picture out there, not getting the visual very clear out there. But we are going to come back to you, Shivangi, for more. I think he should just, Vijay Krishna, starting with you. I think quitting would be a very good option. And quitting followed by some deep introspection would really be in order right now. I think, Vijay, you can't hear me? Yogi ji, can you hear me? Yogi Kade, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me.
I know that you want to conduct a surgical strike upon me and putting a very harsh question whether Uddhav Thackeray ji will resign as the Chief Minister of Maharashtra.
I'm not putting anything
for every initiative and for every issue there is a process. And today, one second.
Okay.
1 second.
You're following the process.
Today, in a wonderful Facebook Meet Live, Uddhav Thackeray ji spoke in an eloquent manner, and he has shown to the public who the real culprits are. And he even sacrificed the post of Chief Minister to Eknath Shinde because his only intention is that a Shiv Sainik should be the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. And I'm very much happy that we have kept away BJP
I thought that this morning
for more than 2.5 years, and I'm saying we'll keep doing that. Okay. And today we may be in a difficult situation. But I'm saying,
Vivek, this morning.
Who are the culprits?
Smita, yes, Smita, yes.
He didn't point any culprits.
Yeah.
No, he didn't point for any culprits, right? If any culprit, then he pointed towards Pawar and Sonia Gandhi, who he said made him Chief Minister when he really didn't want the job also. So the culprits are they who made him betray the pre-poll alliance with BJP and go with the Agadi and made him Chief Minister. He himself is saying, he hasn't called Shinde and all culprits. In fact, he's saying that if you want, you come. Take the resignation from me. So who's the culprit? I'd like to know. He didn't mention any culprits as far as I know.
In Karnataka, your BJP party emerged as the single largest party. You stole Congress MLAs and you're speaking about
I'm
political
not in the
morality.
BJP. You're making a mistake.
On a national
let's not talk about Karnataka. What is happening
BJP
right now is in Maharashtra, and I am not from the BJP. What I am saying is you have misread your own Chief Minister.
What you should say tonight, and Yogi, I think that people make mistakes in life. Okay, and I for one always believe that you can retrace your steps. A terrible mistake has been made by Uddhav Thackeray. Terrible. Tying up with the Vadra Congress. Remaining silent and inactive after Palghar. Remaining silent on the Shaheen Bagh lobby. Allowing murderers like Sachin Waze to run absolutely amok. Carry out a parallel army and extortion racket for Suliket. When 370 was abrogated, not taking on the Congress party for its position against the abrogation of Article 370. Even on CA, taking a muted position, constant compromise after compromise. And all the Shiv Sena needs to do today is the following. What Uddhav Thackeray needs to do in its next Twitter or social media post, he needs to say, Yogi ji, Yogi Gade, he needs to say hashtag Hindutva forever. And he should say Hindutva forever, like Eknath Shinde is saying Hindutva forever, and say that the compromise on Hindutva is what has landed me in this position. I want to make up for all the mistakes that I have made and maybe join hands with Eknath Shinde on the issue of ideology and give up this alliance with Sharad Pawar and the Congress party. Why can't he do that? Why can't he return to what used to be the Shiv Sena's ideological moorings? Mr. Gade, please explain to me, please.
Arnab, I will tell you this because I'm following Shiv Sena since many years. And if you go to see in 2014 when Shiv Sena and BJP won together in Lok Sabha elections, after that immediately during the Vidhan Sabha, BJP broke alliance because of the seat sharing issues, and then again they both came back together. Then in 2019 again in February 2019 Shiv Sena, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray sir and Amit Shah ji both announced an alliance saying that 50-50% seat sharing for Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha. We have come to that conclusion. And after Vidhan Sabha is over, you see...
No, but he wanted to be, the alliance was broken because Uddhav Thackeray wanted to be chief minister. Is that not true?
No, 1 minute, I'm coming.
The alliance was broken on what issue? Because the BJP wanted Devendra Fadnavis to be chief minister. And Uddhav Thackeray said, I want to be chief minister. Let's not, please, Mr. Yogi Gade, please, Mr. Yogi Gade, one second. Let's not try and sound very idealistic about it. Uddhav Thackeray did not break the alliance to save Hindutva. Uddhav Thackeray broke the alliance to become chief minister, and it was only the Congress and the NCP which was willing to make him chief minister. It was about power. So for power, you are compromised your ideology. Simple.
Let me finish, sir. If you let me finish...
For power, you compromised your ideology.
If you let me answer, I'll answer.
Yeah, please. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So in 2019, they from the chief minister post you see, but before Shiv Sena went with the Congress and NCP, it was the BJP's Fadnavis ji and Ajit Pawar ji taking oath ceremony and coming together. So it was.
You tell me. You tell me.
BJP is not sticking to the.
You know. I'll tell you. The problem is. I'll tell you.
If it is on fact, sir, before Shiv Sena went with NCP and Congress, it was the BJP who went with them. And if you go to see, sir, they cannot give chief minister post in Maharashtra, but in Bihar they can give Nitish Kumar, who has won less seats.
So it was about the chief minister's post.
Yeah, they gave Nitish Kumar the chief minister was getting lesser seats.
That's the point.
If you see in Haryana,
it is the largest.
If you see in Haryana.
So,
sir, if you in Haryana,
largest.
They made deputy, whom they have made the deputy CM. He used to abuse Modi ji, and they have made that person deputy CM in Haryana.
The point is. I like to bring in Shantanu also. The point is, what was the need to satisfy? I repeat, satisfy the Vadra Congress by taking such a hard line on Hanuman Chalisa or the loudspeaker issue, just to save the chief minister's post. You think that the Shiv Senics were not watching? You think it did not upset someone like Eknath Shinde, who has been brought into the party and trained by Anand Dighe and Balasaheb Thackeray himself to constantly be watching this? To go and arrest Ravi Rana and Navneet Rana. What was the need to arrest Ravi Rana and what was the point? What was the point you were making? You were making someone out to be a criminal for reading the Hanuman Chalisa. You see, there has been a compromise on Hindutva. The compromise on Hindutva, Balasaheb Thackeray performed Ramshila Puja ahead of the Ram Janmabhoomi movement, praying for its success. And Uddhav Thackeray in July 2020 suggested an e-Bhumi Pujan. I was shocked. What is an e-Bhumi Pujan, Shantanu, for the Ram Mandir Shilanyas ceremony? And then when we say, did you compromise on Bala Sahib's legacy or not? They don't like to hear that. Of course you did. Of course there was, Shantanu. Of course there was.
So can I answer this?
No, 1 minute. Let Shantanu take that. Yes, Shantanu.
I think, Arnab, what I feel is Uddhav Thackeray is getting the taste of his own medicine. Right. So I think we have seen lows in politics, but what Uddhav Thackeray did 2.5 years back was like abysmal. He did not do only betrayal to BJP, he did betrayal to Shiv Sena, to lots of Hindus of Maharashtra and to his own father. And I think the way the government has run in the last 2.5 years is a formula how the government should not be run. From Palghat sadhus to your police commissioner is absconding, your 2 ministers are in jail, how they arrested you, Kangana Ranaut's house, Navneet Rana. I think the show will go on. I can list on how the government should not be run, and karma is catching on. I think that's all. I think only thing I was just wondering why it took 2.5 years for Shiv Senics to realize that. See, tomorrow if a Shiv Sainik will go to ask for a vote, why will someone vote him? If you want to vote for a Hindu plan or a development plan, you will vote for BJP. If you want to vote for an anti-Hindu plan, you will vote for NCP or Congress. Why will I vote Shiv Sena? What is the USP? I think now someone like Eknath Shinde and others are realizing this.
What happened now? No. What happened, Shantanu? Why now?
I think it took
What
it took
were
a
they
little long.
doing for 3 years? Why now? After 3 years, suddenly remember Hindutva. Why 3 years Hindutva?
No,
never
now
occurred
it's
to them? After
farcical.
3
You see,
years,
now
suddenly Hindutva has become an issue. How do we go back to people?
This whole thing, now Aditya Thackeray will go accompanied by, what is that person's name, Sanjay Raut, and they will go to Ayodhya and they will suddenly show their commitment to the Hindu religion. The fact of the matter is, I will have to say this today, the Uddhav-led government cracked down Subhash and blocked the Hanuman Chalisa chant outside Matoshri. And I want to know that since when has it become a crime to chant Hanuman Chalisa outside Matoshri? These are the questions people are asking, not me. Subhash.
You're right, Arnab. It doesn't stop with Hanuman Chalisa. Let us talk of, it started with a massacre of 2 sadhus at Palghar. Nothing, this government did nothing. Then Hanuman Chalisa, then CAA, loudspeaker, then arrest of MPs, MLAs, and then Ketki Chitade and Nikhil Bhamre. Now, incidentally, young boy, 22 years old boy, he writes, he forwards the tweet which, he tweets in reaction to what statement Sharad Pawar made, and that was so demeaning that he should not have, a responsible leader like him should not have made such a statement. So he responds, and then this boy, young boy, is put in as many as 6 cases. So Bombay High Court, incidentally, Arnab, I may tell you, relying on your judgment of the Supreme Court, directs his release on bail yesterday.
But he was in jail for 1 month. 1 minute. I also find this very strange. I, with the greatest respect to the judiciary, also believe that they must look into the time that is being spent. 1 month in jail for a 22-year-old.
More than 1 month.
More than 1 month in jail, and now bail given. And the observations of the court, while extremely welcome, have come after after the citizen has spent 1 month in jail. But that's my point is on Hindutva. My point is, Subhash, on Hindutva. Today they are saying we did not compromise on Hindutva. Salim Sarang ji हमारे साथ है, वो नेशनल सेंट्रल सेक्रेटरी है एनसीपी के, महाराष्ट्र के ऑब्जर्वर है माइनॉरिटी डिपार्टमेंट के. सलीम जी, मुझे बताइए कि ये जो शिवसेना है, शिवसेना की कोर आइडियोलॉजी हिंदुत्व थी या आपने उनको बदलने की कोशिश क्यों की? क्या आपने उन पर उतना प्रेशर डाला, इतना प्रेशर डाला कि हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ने के लिए नवनीत और रवि राणा के खिलाफ सेडिशन चार्जेस लगाए गए? आपको क्या खुशी मिली? आज वही पार्टी जब लोगों के बीच में जाएगी तो क्या कहेगी वो? आपने उनकी आइडियोलॉजी बदल दी, ऐसा क्यों किया आपने?
नहीं, हिंदुत्व की सर्टिफिकेट शिवसेना को कौन देगी? बीजेपी देगी. वो बीजेपी के हिसाब से हिंदुत्व माना जाएगा कि बीजेपी हिंदुत्व मानती है? अगर बीजेपी के हिसाब से हिंदुत्व माना जाता है तो महबूबा मुफ्ती के साथ अगर बीजेपी ने जब टाइप किया था तो वो क्या इस्लामिक हो गई थी, कि मुसलमान हो गई थी? ये पॉलिटिकली काम हुआ है.
दाऊद इब्राहिम पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का पेट्रन इन चीफ हो, उनसे राष्ट्रवाद हिंदुत्व वगैरह हमें कुछ नहीं.
नहीं, आप एक मिनट, राघव 1 मिनट. या लेट हिम कंप्लीट.
देखिए, महबूबा मुफ्ती के साथ जाने के वक्त जब बीजेपी को हिंदू मुसलमान नहीं दिखा था, हिंदुत्व नहीं दिखा था. अब इसमें उद्धव साहब को सर्टिफिकेशन जब बीजेपी देगी ये हिंदू नहीं है, हिंदुत्व नहीं है. आज भी उन्होंने हमेशा हिंदुत्व की बात की है. उन्होंने मंदिरों में जा रहे तो उनपे ऑब्जेक्शन उठा रहे. अभी अयोध्या गए तो उनपे ऑब्जेक्शन होती है उस बात पर. तो क्या धर्म बीजेपी के हिसाब से चलेगा? बीजेपी ने हिंदुत्व पे सर्टिफिकेशन देना है लोगों को?
नहीं, मगर जो मैं सवाल कर रहा था. अच्छा, राघव कुछ कहना चाहता. राघव, कोई पर्सनल स्टेटमेंट्स नहीं करे. राघव, आप मुद्दे पर जरूर बोले प्लीज.
मैं बस इतना कहना चाहता हूं कि उद्धव ठाकरे जी अब हिंदुत्व की बात करते हैं. अब मुझे तो पता नहीं, कभी वो असादुद्दीन ओवैसी से समर्थन लेते हैं, कभी कोई जो है औरंगजेब की मजार पे जाके पता नहीं कुछ चादर वादर चढ़ाते हैं. ये तो समझ में नहीं आता ये कौन सा हिंदुत्व है. मैं कुछ पर्सनली कह रहा हूं क्योंकि राजनीति में जो सिंबोलिज्म है वो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है. जो लोग जो है औरंगजेब का नाम लेते हैं, औरंगजेब को
नहीं,
इतना
नहीं,
बड़ा
ये
मानते हैं,
शिवसेना के बारे में
तो
आप बात कर रहे हो।
औरंगजेब के जो भक्त है उनसे हमें हिंदुत्व सीखने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है। जो राजनीति में जो है ऐसे लोगों के साथ, कांग्रेस और राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस पार्टी के साथ जो है मिलकर जो सरकार बना रहे हैं,
ये अभी और एक ब्रेकिंग न्यूज आ रही है. I have Alisha with me. Raghav, a bit of breaking news is coming in. अभी देखिए विजय, you will think that I am timing this breaking news to your presence on the channel, that I want to embarrass you, make you feel bad, but I don't want to do that. But it is coming to me. I'll let Alisha break the news. Alisha, are you there? Alisha is having gets information right now, and that she was running last time behind Uddhav Thackeray. You saw Alisha has some information about some more Shiv Sena MLAs leaving Uddhav and going to Eknath Shinde, right?
Yes, Arnab, we are getting an information that one more Shiv Sena MLA, Mangesh Kudalkar, who represent Kurla Vidhan Sabha constituency of Mumbai, is going to leave Mumbai and going to reach Guwahati tomorrow.
Has he already left?
You know, what is interesting, what we are getting to know from our sources, that rather than he's on his way and he's going to reach Guwahati. What he's been told, that he's already left for Guwahati in support of Eknath Shinde. And the more interesting information that we are getting, that rather than Uddhav camp, who have been trying to convince the rebel MLAs, here are the rebel MLAs in Guwahati. They have been trying to contact the other MLAs to get a support for Eknath Shinde. This is what information I'm getting, and this is the only reason where more and more MLAs are going to Guwahati. They are reaching Guwahati to support Eknath Shinde. We earlier saw that there are already 5 MLAs, including one independent MLA, was already reached Guwahati for Eknath.
So what are the numbers now with the Eknath Shinde group? What do the numbers add up at? Where are the numbers then?
Well, as of now, it is said that 46 MLAs are with
46
Eknath Shinde,
including independents, and how many of these are Shiv Sena MLAs?
Well, it's said that almost 40 Shiv Sena MLAs are around, but it's not an official number that has been given. But yes, we know that there are more than 40 Shiv Sena MLAs who are with Eknath Shinde. He has the number. As we know that just not to face the defection under anti-defection law, the magical number is 37. He's been trying to get more and more MLAs, and what we said, that the interesting part is, rather than the Uddhav camp, who has been trying to convince, making an emotional appeal to the rebel MLAs, they've been trying to contact, even they have asked the rebel MLAs family to ask them to come back to Mumbai and get in talk with Uddhav Thackeray. But here the strategy has been made in Guwahati itself. Eknath Shinde and his MLAs, they are making a strategy. They have been trying to contact the other MLAs who were in support of Uddhav Thackeray, but they are now joining Eknath Shinde. Because important, talking about Gulabrao Patil, he's also been known as a very loyal Sikh to the Uddhav Thackeray, and he was there yesterday present at Varsha Bungalow, but today he reached Guwahati in support of Eknath Shinde.
So you're saying this is very interesting, Adwaita.
What is face of Eknath Shinde?
Yeah, Alisha, stay on with me in the debate. Adwaita, what's happening is that as Uddhav, as time passes, his position becomes weaker. And politicians know that they need to be on the stronger side. So we are seeing a lot of people move on. These were some people who were the last remaining group of MLAs around Uddhav Thackeray till last night. I mean, at the St. Regis Hotel, apparently.
Shinde is in a comfort zone.
Yes, Meeta? This is moving fast.
Shinde has already come to a comfort zone even before it has gone to the floor of the house. You understand, ultimately the majority doesn't have to be proved on the street or on social media or anywhere. It is to be proven on the floor of the house. And even before they have been called to prove on the floor of the house, he seems to have come to the comfort factor. And one more point I wanted to make, when you were talking about the Hindutva thing, just remember that 3 years on, they kept quiet. They even questioned the Balakot strike, Arnab. At that time itself, the signal should have gone out to many in the Shiv Sena that you are questioning the Indian Army's integrity. When that happened, you'll have to go back to the people at some point of time and they will ask you that.
No doubt about that. What is Syed Aslam, you see, what happens is that whether one likes it or not, a compromise on the Hindutva agenda does not go down well in any party. And one may like Hindutva or not, but the fact is that Hindutva is core to Hinduism, and the Hindutva ideology cannot be disrespected in this country.
Yep.
And any party, any party, allow me to complete, any party that moves away from it so dramatically as the Shiv Sena does will have to pay a price. I'll give you one example if I may. Bal Thackeray in his editorial Samna talking about the Ayodhya Ram Mandir used to say that Babur was an aggressor and there is no reason why Muslims should fight for the masjid named after him against Hindus in their own country. But what did Uddhav Thackeray do during the Gyanvapi issue? This is his quote. Uddhav Thackeray said, inflation is rising, but our worry is which shivling is lying beneath which mosque. What is under the Taj Mahal? What is under Gyanvapi Masjid? Now that being said by the son of Balasaheb Thackeray, knowing the ideology of Hindutva, I mean, you can't tomorrow say I am wedded to the ideology of Balasaheb Thackeray, but that does not include Hindutva, because Hindutva was at the core of Balasaheb Thackeray's ideology. He used to say, Garv se kaho hum Hindu hain. But what did his son do? MNS leaders were detained over Hanuman Chalisa on speakers. It's a compromise on Balasaheb Thackeray's legacy. And you see, this is the reality of Indian politics. I know there is a very small part of the English-speaking elite in this country which is in denial about it. But we can't be in denial. This is the way, you know, in India you cannot insult Hindutva and expect to be relevant in politics. Yes, Mr. Aslam, go ahead.
Well, Arnab, I'll tell you what is the fact of the matter. The fact of the matter is no one needs a certification from BJP who is following the Hindutva ideology and who is not. And I'll tell you, in whatever way you try to spin the narrative, the fact of the matter is very clear. It's the BJP which is at its best. The BJP is at its best for the horse trading again.
You can't keep blaming others. You know, the fact of the matter is you can't keep blaming others. Let me ask you, let me tell you, 1994 speech, Balasaheb Thackeray, Advaita, Shivaji Park. And then he took on the then Sharad Pawar government for taking down the illegal mosque speakers. Today the Shiv Sena government was passing the buck on the issue. So did the Shiv Sena compromise on Balasaheb Thackeray's legacy or not?
Absolutely not.
No, I think Arnab, what is distinctly clear is that this MVA alliance was. May I speak, please? May I speak, please? It's my turn. It's my turn to speak, please.
Advaita, please.
Let me speak, Mr.
Advaita.
Yes, Aslam, please just let me speak. Let me finish my point, please. I think what's happening is, Arnab, you know, MVA was a coalition of dynasties. I think that was what brought them together. It was not any ideological basis. And what has happened with the Hindutva ideology in particular is, unlike the Nehruvian ideology, it is not something that you inherit, that passes on to the members of the family. It is something that you have to uphold. Now, what has distinctly gone wrong with the Shiv Senics, and it's not about the BJP or any of us sitting here giving out certificates of Hindutva. It's their own party members, their own people who've been raised in the fold of that Hindutva, that Balasaheb Thackeray, who never became chief minister, had no desire to be, but still exercised such power and moral control because of that adherence to Hindutva, that Uddhav Thackeray has been unable to do. I think his problem is much bigger. It's not just about losing the chief minister's position. It's about losing this party that his father founded, based on the ideals of Hindutva, because he has moved so far away from that ideology.
We're getting pictures from Matoshri and he has come back there.
साथियों का शिव सैनिकों का अभिवादन स्वीकार करते हुए उद्धव ठाकरे, बहुत अहम ये तस्वीर, और इन तस्वीरों के बीच सबसे बड़ी बात ये, वो अपना वर्षा जो सरकारी बंगला है वो खाली कर चुके हैं। सरकारी बंगला खाली किए जाने के बाद अब वो मातोश्री पहुंचे हैं। जो इंतजार कर रहे थे कार्यकर्ता उद्धव ठाकरे का, वो इंतजार खत्म हुआ, लेकिन इस इंतजार के बीच तमाम आज कहानियां रही। उन तमाम कहानियों के बीच सबसे बड़ा निचोड़ ये कि उद्धव ठाकरे ने अपना बंगला जो है वो खाली कर दिया है। लंबा चौड़ा काफिला उद्धव ठाकरे का जो अब यहां से मातोश्री पहुंच रहा है। तस्वीरें सीपी सिंह जी एक बार दिखाते रहेगा अपने दर्शकों को। ये तस्वीर सबसे पहले हमने आपको दिखाई उद्धव ठाकरे की, और ये वो तस्वीर, इसी गाड़ी में उद्धव ठाकरे सवार हैं जो अब यहां से मातोश्री के अंदर रवाना हो रहे हैं। अपने कार्यकर्ताओं का अभिवादन स्वीकार करने के बाद अब वो फिर से मातोश्री के अंदर के लिए रवाना हुए हैं। ये वो मर्सिडीज कार जिसके अंदर उद्धव ठाकरे मौजूद हैं। उद्धव ठाकरे अपने कार्यकर्ताओं से मिलने के लिए गाड़ी रोकी, उन्होंने अपने काफिला रोका और काफिला रोकने जाने के बाद वो अपने कार्यकर्ताओं से मिले, उनका अभिवादन स्वीकार किया और अभिवादन स्वीकार किए जाने के बाद अब ये काफिला मातोश्री के दरवाजे की तरफ लगातार बढ़ता हुआ आगे की तरफ दस्तक देता हुआ, ये वो तस्वीरें हैं आप साफ तौर पर देख सकते हैं। उद्धव ठाकरे का ये काफिला आज पूरे दिन की गहमा गहमी के बीच आज का दिन महाराष्ट्र की राजनीति में शायद इतिहास के तौर पर दर्ज होगा, क्योंकि आज जो कुछ हुआ वो तमाम तस्वीरें हमने आप तक पहुंचाई भी और उद्धव ठाकरे भी अब यहाँ पर मातोश्री पहुंचे हैं। वर्षा जो उनका सरकारी आवास है उस आवास को उद्धव ठाकरे खाली कर चुके हैं। अपने समर्थकों के साथ यहाँ पर वो पहुंचे हैं। उनका काफिले की तीसरी गाड़ी और चौथी गाड़ी में उद्धव ठाकरे सवार हैं और मातोश्री के दरवाजे की तरफ वो लगातार दस्तक दे रहे हैं। सैकड़ों कार्यकर्ता जो इंतजार कर रहे थे उद्धव ठाकरे का, लेकिन इस इंतजार के बीच सबसे अहम ये कि उद्धव ठाकरे वर्षा जो उनका सरकारी आवास है उस आवास को खाली कर चुके हैं। और सबसे अहम एक बार फिर से ये देखिएगा, उद्धव ठाकरे एक बार उतरे हैं फिर से अपने कार्यकर्ताओं का अभिवादन।
Okay, now we'll go back from that. This is all very well choreographed. I would say that he needs to give the impression that he still has people with him. So they've organized about 50 to 100 Shiv Senics, and then every 10 steps he stops, he goes out, he tries to make it look like the entire crowds are with him. But that's not the reality. The reality is a completely embattled leader without any political support within his own party. But this whole choreographing of this whole event also makes it quite obvious that there's a pressure now building. There's a pressure, Advaita, that's beginning to build on the entire Thackeray family. They know that this is a make or break for them.
Yes.
And they know they may lose control of the party.
Absolutely. There's no doubt in that. I mean, this is such a public humiliation that somebody who claims to have an iron grip control on their party and a small word from Matoshri, we remember those days, Arnab, had the Shiv Senics out in full force. Today, that same cadre is turning on a member of the Thackeray family, the heir apparent, and saying that, look, you get back to your ideological roots the way Balasaheb Thackeray wanted things to run, or goodbye. And there's no ambiguity in this at all. And I think this is, the kind of democratic coup of the party that the Congress has not been able to do, no matter what, and this applies to all dynastic parties. There's a lesson here for all dynastic parties that if you steer too far away from the core and focus entirely on your own well-being, your own power structure, your own preeminence in a party because you're from a particular family, this can happen to you. And I think this is so democratic that Shiv Senics have come together and have said that you need to come to the board with the ideology that you profess, that you claim to uphold. And if you're not going to do that, then you're going to lose control of this party, forget the CM's chair. And this means political irrelevance. I mean, you have the numbers right in front of you, the number of people who are standing with Eknath Shinde,
I'd like Subhash Jha to come in. I'd like Subhash Jha and Surendra Chauhan to come in. I always say this, people say Hindutva does not matter. I say Hindutva matters. In this country, Hindutva matters. In fact, I was saying recently to someone, Mr. Chauhan, that there was this Maha-Arti in Dadar in 1993. I don't know if the visuals are there. And Uddhav Thackeray was present in that, 1993. And there was Raj Thackeray there. And there was Balasaheb Thackeray there. And there was Manohar Joshi there. And at the rally, Surendra Chauhan, Balasaheb Thackeray, took a very, very strong position, on the issue of azan from loudspeakers and namaz on the road, right? Now that was the position of Balasaheb Thackeray. Now today you are opposing, your party, Congress created a situation where you were opposing public recitation of Hanuman Chalisa. Deputy Chief Minister says you want to have a chant Hanuman Chalisa, go home and do it. You think this is the kind of ideological shift? You understand, Mr. Chauhan? And I would blame the Vadra Congress entirely for this. The Vadra Congress used You forced the Shiv Sena to move away from Hindutva.
BJP did the same thing in MP when Karnataka, they took all the MLAs to Karnataka. Today, why the MLAs are going to a ruled...
Because the MLAs are disillusioned.
Why in Surat? Why in
Because the
Guwahati now?
MLAs are disillusioned with the shift from
Who is spending the
Hindutva.
huge money?
Because the MLAs did not join a party which will move away from Hindutva.
They're staying in a 5-star luxury hotel.
And what is the St. Regis here?
Who is paying this
What
money?
is the St. Regis here? A bed and breakfast?
Who is bearing the will?
And who paid the bill for St. Regis?
Who is spending this
I can tell you without a shred of doubt, being from Guwahati myself. No, 1 minute. I can tell you without a shred of doubt, being from Guwahati. Oh, wait a minute. I can tell you without a shred of doubt that rooms in the Radisson in Guwahati are less than half the price of rooms in the St. Regis Hotel in Mumbai.
They did in Jharkhand. They in Arunachal Pradesh.
Raghav Awasthi is on the debate.
They have no respect for democracy, no respect for elected representative, elected government.
Oh yeah, and Sachin Waze has a lot of respect. Parambir has a lot of respect.
Money trade. Money trail is going on.
Raghav Awasthi.
Money trail is going on.
Tell me one thing. Did the Shiv Sena not campaign with the face of Narendra Modi on hoardings? Yes or no? Did they or did they not do that?
In 2.5
was Narendra Modi's face on hoardings or not?
2.5 years took him.
Yes or no? Was Narendra Modi's face on hoardings? So if you campaign with Narendra Modi's face on hoardings, then you stab him in the back afterwards. Then you have no right to talk about any political morality. This government was politically thoroughly illegitimate from day one.
2.5 years. He enjoyed the government as a minister. Now he's coming back to the Hindutva
third of the legislators are going to defect, and that will make the defection constitutional under the 10th schedule.
Some hidden agenda is there.
The constitution, I practice it. I practice law every day. So you have to understand that there is nothing unconstitutional that is happening here. The 10th schedule very clearly says that if more than 2/3 of the strength of the legislature party defects, then any direction.
Let us see 37 MLAs. Let us see, wait and watch.
Party leadership will not be applicable.
Let Eknath Shinde bring 37 MLAs support.
Yes, they're already there. Everybody knows they're already there.
Let him come back.
Everybody knows they're already there. The tiger has fled. The tiger has fled his lair. The tiger has fled its lair. And now the last rights of this government,
Shiv are illegitimate government
that was poisoned
they are not going to forgive him.
Okay, I tell you.
It took him 2.5 years.
Okay, I tell you. You know, it is very important. You see, Vijay and Yogi, I want to come to you. And I want Subhash and Smita on. You see, people were watching you. This alliance was chalk and cheese. The ideologies did not just vary, they downright contradict each other. But you appeased. And Balasaheb Thackeray, you know, one thing he never liked, Vijay, was appeasement. What did you do? You appeased and appeased and appeased and appeased. You overdid it. You should have had the self-respect. The Vadra Congress needed you, but you appeased them and appeased them and appeased them to remain in power. There was never any ideological glue. The Shiv Sena had, in Balasaheb's time, in its official website, declared itself to be a party which is the whirlwind of intense Hindutva. I quote, go to your website. And what did the Vadra Congress do? They abused and attacked Savarkar. Did you open your mouth on that? Did you? You think putting a picture of Balasaheb Thackeray behind you undoes everything that you've done? Vijay? Yogi?
Yes, can I answer this?
No, did you open your mouth when the Vadra Congress insulted Savarkar?
Yes. Can I answer this? Can I answer this? Can I answer this, sir?
Can I comment?
Yes. 1 minute, let me answer this.
Sanjay Rawatji condemned the statements made by certain Congress Seva Dal leaders who made a booklet
Not
on
Sevadal leaders,
Veer
I'm talking
Savarkar.
about Rahul Gandhi.
It was I who condemned these comments. But I would like to ask, when National BJP spokesperson Nupur Sharma ji made controversial comments against Prophet Muhammad, what was the answer given by Ministry of External Affairs to Qatar embassy? They said fringe elements have no place in BJP, that it was not the stand of Indian government, that it respects all religions. I'm not against chanting Hanuman Chalisa, but you want to chant Hanuman Chalisa before a place of worship which does not belong to you.
Can I answer
Please
this?
address noise pollution. Let us take a national decision to contain noise pollution. Be it is
The Prime Minister and
Did
the
Bala
party
Saheb
are-
Thackeray ever call it a noise pollution issue?
You tell me what he
Six,
thinks about those comments. Let him say.
Many Hindus have been killed recently.
He's bringing Nupur Sharma into this. Is this debate about Nupur Sharma? You tell me no. You tell me you think the BJP is not into enough. You say that you support Nupur Sharma.
What is he talking about?
And you are talking about Palgar Sadhu's murder.
Arey Palgar Sadhus were lynched in broad
Sir, can I
daylight and
answer
you
this?
guys resisted
Smita
CBI
Prakash ji,
inquiry.
जवाब दीजिए.
They were lynched.
Sir, can you answer this?
They were lynched in the presence of Maharashtra police
Arnab sir, can I answer this?
You don't want to involve the CBI.
Okay, I'll give you one example. You reneged. You see, Yogi. I'll tell you one thing. Mr. Yogi Gade.
Yes, let me answer this.
1
I
minute.
didn't
One.
answer.
Just
I'm Yogi Gade,
one.
sir. You have mistaken the other guy.
Pardon me.
I'm Yogi Gade.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Mr. Gade.
Yes.
Mr. Gade. Yeah, I'm referring to you as Mr. Gade.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. See, the point is, you reneged on all your commitments. In life, there is something called commitment.
Yes.
And people who don't respect commitments are seen to be fickle people. You did not fulfill the Maratha quota. Why couldn't you fulfill the Maratha quota? Because you could not control the Congress party. Who was the head of the cabinet subcommittee on the Maratha quota? Former Chief Minister and Congress leader Ashok Chavan. He was not in your control. So you reneged on your promise to satisfy your ally.
Can I answer, sir?
Of course you can answer it, no problem.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Firstly, sir, I'll come on the Savarkar issue. In June 2020 also, Shiv Sena had said to the BJP government ki give Bharat Ratna to Veer Savarkar ji, which has not yet been done. It is always the stand of the party, as I have seen, and it's Arnab ji, I'm not taking any side. Leave aside I'm Shiv Sena or leave aside I'm from any political party. But as a youth, I've been in politics from 7-8 years. I'm a cooperator myself. I have seen all the political parties not stick to their words on ideology basis or this thing. Like if I give you an example, in Maharashtra and in some certain states, BJP will say we are banning beef. But in northeastern states, during elections,
why didn't you rename Aurangabad? You said you would.
Yes. The Chief Minister has said they are committed to naming Aurangabad Sampaji Nagar.
No, you
they have named the airport.
No, you
Sampaji
just know you're lying to me. You just diverted from the issue by saying how a mere resolution was passed to rename the airport in the city without even that being implemented.
Yes.
No, you didn't do it.
You're saying
Smita.
Arnab, you're saying non-compliance. There was betrayal.
Smita.
When is Honorable
PM
Smita,
you're saying that they were not complying with the promises made to the people in... Yeah, 1 second. You see what they promised to the people. You are saying that they did not comply with their promises. There was an absolute betrayal. 2019 was a betrayal to what they promised. Exactly what Raghav said. They put Modi's face and they went with Rahul Gandhi. Does that make any sense? And for people who voted for Shiv Sena, they didn't vote for the Congress, they voted for the Shiv Sena. Why? Because they were with the BJP. The fact is that there are fissures in our democracy, and this isn't the first time that such betrayal has happened. BJP going with the PDP is also a betrayal. Fine, you are going to say that. Yes, agreed. The BJP going with that is also. But Rajiv Gandhi going with Chandrasekhar and then bringing down the Chandrasekhar government is also a betrayal. These fissures will happen, right? Now Uddhav Thackeray should have known that there could be a problem like this. Why didn't you have a speaker in place? Why didn't you have a speaker in place for so many months? You couldn't get the NCP, you couldn't get the Congress to agree with it. Now you are in a situation where you can't prove your majority.
Also on the issue of Dawood Ibrahim, allow me to complete. Also on the issue of Dawood Ibrahim. Also on the issue of Dawood Ibrahim. Can I come in on the issue of Dawood Ibrahim?
Yes.
Please, if I may. I want Vijay to come. Please understand. You see, if you see this resolution which has been passed by the members of the Maharashtra State Legislative Assembly, and this resolution has been passed which makes Eknath Rao Sambhaji Shinde as group leader of the Shiv Sena legislature party. The most important thing it says out here, it says that we cannot tolerate anymore the amount of corruption. The amount of corruption and especially the inaction against Minority Minister Nawab Malik, who is in jail for involvement with underworld don Dawood Ibrahim. This level of compromise, Subhash, you've seen the first page of this.
Yes,
this level of compromise.
I've seen that.
This level of compromise.
I've seen that.
Anil Deshmukh in jail for corruption. Nawab Malik in jail for involvement with Dawood Ibrahim. For the yes, आपको कहना क्या है? ये सब तो सच्चाई है ना। दाऊद इब्राहिम के साथ जिनके संपर्क पर जो जेल में है, उनको आपने अपना दबाव डाल के आपने शिवसेना में उसमें भी उनको फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी करा दी। सलीम जी, अब शिवसेना का बाकी क्या रहा? पूरा खोखला हो गया ना। नवाब मलिक के खिलाफ दाऊद इब्राहिम गैंग के साथ लिंक्स के आरोप है कि नहीं है?
अर्नब जी, ये बात को मैं आपका थोड़ा काटना चाहूंगा। नवाब जी के बारे में जो आप बोल रहे हो, अभी कैसे बीजेपी की राजनीति तोड़-फोड़ की है। आज मैंडेट मध्य प्रदेश में कांग्रेस को मिलने के बाद
नवाब मलिक के दाऊद इब्राहिम के साथ लिंक होने के आरोप हैं कि नहीं है? सलीम जी,
इस बात पे मैं आ रहा हूं। मेरी ये बात अब सुन लीजिए पहले। मध्य प्रदेश में गवर्नमेंट कांग्रेस की थी, कहीं ना कहीं खरीद फरोख्त होके उनको अपनी तरफ किया गया। हमारे पास भी राष्ट्रवादी कांग्रेस पार्टियों को भी काफी खरीद का ऑफर दिया गया। जब हम झुक नहीं पाए तो ये एलिगेशंस लगाया गया, और जब तक ये एलिगेशंस प्रूफ नहीं होता इसके ऊपर अभी तक
मगर why is the Shivsena? आप you're not understanding one point. The point is कि ये जो corruption है of the government, you see what is very important, Subhash, is this group of the Shivsena is saying our government is corrupt. There's too much corruption. अनिल देशमुख, नवाब मलिक, सचिन वाजे, नहीं आप क्यों नहीं बोलेंगे? देखिए द इशू इज आल्सो,
इस बारे में बोलना चाह रहा हूं।
देयर इज, और कहा है देयर इज इनॉर्मस, नो ये एकनाथ शिंदे ने कहा है बहुत मतभेद है पार्टी के अंदर।
अर्नब जी, इस बारे में मेरी बात
मुद्दों को लेकर
अगर ये 2.5 साल के बाद अगर ये कुछ लीडरों को ये याद आ रहा है कि ये इसमें करप्शन है, ये तो 2.5 साल क्या करें?
आप उसको देखिए, 2.5 साल के बाद, शायद 2.5 साल के बाद सहना मुश्किल हो गया है।
नहीं, ऐसा थोड़ी होता है। 2.5 साल के बाद सहना मुश्किल हो जाता है, ये भी हो सकता है ना। कुछ लोगों को कुछ ना कुछ इसकी कुछ गिफ्ट, रिटर्न गिफ्ट मिल रहा होगा ये सब चीज करने।
सुभाष झा,
Arnab, the resolution of the meeting proceeds on the basis of they are taking these 34 MLAs who are signatories to this resolution, proceeds on the basis they take exception to the alliance being broken with BJP and they are aligning with 2 other parties. It starts with that and then adds to the Dawood Ibrahim, and there being tremendous pressure from voters, electorates, and so on and so forth. And therefore they say that we are under tremendous pressure. We are answerable to our electorates from whom we have sought votes on the plank of Hindutva. How can we go back?
किसी को लाने के लिए सेंटर गवर्नमेंट को किसने रोका है? सेंटर गवर्नमेंट का काम है ना, लेके आइए ना किसको बाहर। अगर कोई फगेटिव है किसी पे,
प्रश्न वो नहीं है।
अब महाराष्ट्र
प्रश्न वो नहीं है।
नहीं, प्रश्न आप जो बोल रहे हो,
अभी बात जो हो रही है 34 एमएलए ने जो रेजोल्यूशन पास किया है उसमें क्या कहा है उसके बारे में।
34 एमएलए
दाऊद इब्राहिम को लाने और ले जाने की बात नहीं है।
अरे तो लाइए ना। देखिए, वो 34 एमएलए की भी बात कर रहे हैं, वो बैठे हुए जाके बीजेपी रूल स्टेट में, अगर वो एमएलए जो है वो आइए फ्लोर टेस्ट में आएंगे तब पता चलेगा। उनकी जान को खतरा हो सकता है। अभी आज एक एमएलए आए, उन्होंने बोला कि हमको ब्लैकमेलिंग करके रखा गया है, हार्ट अटैक बोल के हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट किया है, इंजेक्शन मारा जा रहा है।
मैं ये कह रहा हूँ that let me go to Niranjan first. Niranjan is live with us right now. On the latest in the action, we are seeing movement. Niranjan is moving from location to location, somewhere between just a little before Matoshri. Niranjan, what's the latest in terms of the movement?
Arnab, they've reached Matoshri, but I think the real movement is happening towards Guwahati. I can confirm to you right now, Arnab, 34 MLAs, I don't know what, all the panelists on the Shiv Sena side are breaking their heads about, because 34 have signed that resolution, which means he has 34, and 6 more Sena MLAs are headed to Guwahati. I have their names. Sada Sarvankar, ironically, Sada Sarvankar was also protesting outside the Shiv Sena Bhavan backing Uddhav yesterday. He's headed to Guwahati. Mangesh Kudalkar is headed to Guwahati. They're going to join Eknath Shinde. 4 have already started from Mumbai, which means, Arnab, they've got enough numbers. I think he's got close to 40 now.
And I think somewhere Eknath Shinde realizes, Advaita, that the longer this lasts, the more the chances of more people being added up on their side, It's like
Absolutely.
Because these MLAs are
realists. This is serious trouble for the Thackerays. Serious trouble for the Thackerays. I mean, it's so clear and it's so humiliating that elected MLAs are moving like this and going with somebody, and this is very likely going to lead to a split unless there is some big talk back and there's some pedal back on positions. It is going to be back. It's going to really be very difficult for the Shiv Sena to kind of come together after such a public split. And I think it's credible. I mean, there have been reports that Sharad Pawar has offered Eknath Shinde the position of Chief Minister. But to his credit, he has denied that position as Chief Minister because he's taking an ideological position at this point. And he's saying that the party has to break the alliance, and that is the only way of keeping the Shiv Sena together.
I think Mr. Smita, I'll say in conclusion that I think Mr. Pawar should let Mr. Thackeray quit.
Yes, absolutely. I think Uddhav is taking the high moral ground when he said that I'm ready to go. And Shinde has also taken the high moral ground and said that I don't want this job, I want the alliance to end. And if that is the case, Shiv Sena is on the same page, then a vertical split can be prevented in the party and they can break the links with the Pawar and Rahul Gandhi factions, break this Agadi, and Shiv Sena stays as a single unit. Otherwise, there will be a vertical split in the party. To avoid that, I think they should break the Agadi.
Yeah, I think this.
I don't think he has an option at this point.
Yeah, I also don't think he has an option. I don't know who's advising him. Frankly, at 5 o'clock, he seemed really, really keen to quit. At 8 o'clock, he was not being allowed to quit. By 9 o'clock, others were making statements on his behalf. By 10 o'clock, he had left his residence. And right now, it's going to be 11 o'clock. We see more people leaving him. The longest this drags, it's not going to work out well for Mr. Thackeray or whatever is left of his faction of the Shiv Sena. We can only call him a factional leader right now. And ladies and gentlemen, I shall see you tomorrow. This is a developing story, and Republic is great at covering developing breaking news stories. Maximum feet on the ground, and the visuals here first, and the debate here tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.
Amity has been ranked amongst the top 3% universities globally, a testimony to Amity's globally benchmarked quality. To apply, visit amity.edu.
Stopping fire from spreading is difficult, but not impossible. Now with firewall technology, Century Ply saves you from fire.
Enroll in any of REVA's wide range of courses, designed to take on an evolving education and an expanding future. REVA University.
Stopping fire